Casrlevania, Deathless, again. Watching for great justice. There's not really too much to worry about here in the first couple stages. Just whip the zombies and the dogs, you know. It is not bad. Right here I keep messing up jumping on the bat. It's a little shortcut kind of thing you can do. You can jump off the bat here and like skip a little section, but the bat's got to be like high enough when it's flying through the air to knock you over the wall there. Right there. Nope, that's not it. That's not the one. It's the next one. Right there. And you gotta kind of be on like the right side of the bat too, because if you're on like the left side of it, it'll just knock you back to the platform you were just standing on. So it's tricky. Right here, you want to get the axe, because the axe is the best for fighting this boss. This big bat. Of course. You don't need to be conservative either. Like, you can't carry hearts over into the next stage, so just throw those axes. Those two screens are easy. There's nothing really to worry about. On this next screen here, I had some trouble with these Medusas. Sometimes I would jump at the wrong time, I'd hit a Medusa and I'd fall into the pit and it's all over. Right there's another kind of little shortcut. If you jump in the air at the right time, the Medusa will hit you and you'll kind of phase through the platform above you. It's like a shortcut. These squisher things are kind of annoying. Just gotta walk through them at the right time. Don't get squished or skewered by them. Of course you want the holy water for every other boss and every stage except for the first one. Right there, there's like that weird glitch with the squishers, where there's like two of them for some reason. That happens often. Right here in this hallway, you can just keep walking to the left, the Medusas won't hit you. Throw holy water, whip, whip. Throw holy water and whip, whip. There you go. Easy peasy. I hate these flea men. You want to just hit them like maybe even like a half a second before they reach the ground, because then they hop all around at weird patterns and they can be hard to hit sometimes. And they're freaking annoying. The birds are annoying in this game too. They do weird things sometimes. I don't think they always do the same things. Like, they don't always follow the same pattern. They got a few different patterns they do. And you gotta kinda accommodate for what they're doing. Make sure they don't hit you and knock you into a pit. Whatever you do, pits are your worst enemy in this game. Right there, you can take out the skeleton and the Medusa with just like a whip or a holy water, if you could time it right. One thing that's good to do is to just deal with one thing at a time. So don't deal with like a bird and the skeleton tower thing. Just deal with either the bird or that tower. See, that bird flies way up there, and then I think he just kind of runs into me. See right there, that tower is kind of placed so that if you don't whip the fireballs like at the right time, you'll fall into that pit right behind you. That's frustrating. Sometimes you can just duck and they'll just fly off screen. That's good. See, right there, I walked away so that I wasn't dealing with the skeletons and the birds at the same time. Sometimes they'll just fly right up into the holy water, because they're stupid. Then there's a turkey leg right there on the left. You want to get that. If you use the holy water on bosses or enemies or whatever, you can actually walk through them. Like, it stuns them and you can walk through them, so it's definitely the best sub-weapon. You need it in this game. I almost lose here too. So this is where bats will come in. The bats fly at annoying patterns too, and sometimes they're hard to hit. When you're riding on that platform, you gotta make sure that you hit the bat, or he'll run into you and you fall into a pit, and it's game over. I mean, not exactly game over, but, you know, I'm trying to do Deathless, so I have to reset. Right there, the bats will come in, try to hit you. You have to time it so you hit the bat and then jump on the platform right there. because the bats will just keep coming. Here's a bunch of flea men. Again, you just want to hit them like before they can even touch the ground if you can. But you gotta watch out because they'll drop axes, and that's terrible. I had to reset a few times because they would drop an axe and I'd walk right into it. Just so frustrating. There's no other place where you can pick up holy water either. Like, so if you grab the axe, none of these candles will give you holy water. You can only get it, like... Well, I mean, I kept it from stage 2. See right there? That's an axe. Don't grab it. I almost walked into it, too. If you stand at a good distance between those, like, snake skeleton things, you can usually hit the fireballs before they hit you. Grab those hearts. Right here I had a problem a lot where I'd stand there and I'd be holding up on the D-pad of my NES, but for some reason the way I was holding it, I would accidentally, like, sort of shift left just a little bit so Simon would turn around. He'd, like, turn to the left, and then Frankenstein would start moving again, and then I would just lose, and I was getting so frustrated. But that time I got it, no problem. I think maybe it was just the way I was holding the NES controller, but I figured it out. See right there, that's what you want to do to those flea men before they even get a chance to start hopping around. After you play, you know, so many times, you do start to memorize which candles have what. You just gotta be careful to not lose your holy water. You want to pick up as many hearts as you can, but don't lose the holy water. What made you decide to attempt this? You know, I've always really loved Castlevania. You know, I got an NES a few years ago. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago. That was one of the games I had on it. Obviously, I didn't grow up with the NES or anything like that. But, you know, I loved the horror elements in Castlevania. I loved that it had Dracula and Frankenstein. It's something about the combat in it, just, like, the music, too, is just amazing. Some of the best music I've ever heard in video games. It's one of my favorite video games. So, yeah, I love that it has Dracula in it. I love that it has Frankenstein and the Mummy. Right there, the time stopper, don't grab that. Like, you never know when another item is going to come down that you don't need. Stream is looking good, by the way. Great, thank you. Shout out to you, because you helped me with all my streams. All my streaming stuff. Thank you. And the reason I decided to attempt this was because I had beaten this game a few times, and when I was getting ready to play it again and stream it, I got really far without even dying. I got all the way to this stage right here. This is Death's stage. I got all the way to this stage without dying. I'm like, I bet you I could do it. You know, because I looked up the strategy, you know, on how to beat, like, Frankenstein and Death, and how to, you know, beat Dracula, stuff. I mean, I obviously knew how to do all that anyway, but I mean, I just practiced up more so I could do every part, you know, like one after the other without dying. Oh, dang it. Sometimes it does that. It goes into power save mode or whatever. Yeah, one of the first streams I wanted to do when I came back to streaming with this PC was the Castlevania one. And I did that one, and I was not really even close to able to do a deathless run that day. And I was getting really frustrated at it, like, I could barely even beat the game that day because I was just getting really frustrated. And then the next day, I practiced it, like, all day. Like, probably 7 hours. Right there, I like that I get right up in the knight's face as he's dying from holy water. Probably practiced this thing for like 7 hours just for this run. Right here, you do basically the same thing you did with Frankenstein. You just stand in one spot and just spam holy water. You just need to spam the holy water because your whip won't reach him. So just shoot holy water, that's it. Once I figured out how to do that, you know, it became way more possible to do a run like this for me, you know, because I used to attempt beating this game, you know, not doing that, and then death sights will come out and they'll chase you down and stuff, and it's a mess. That battle, if you try to do it that way, is just horrible. I have beaten death, like, if you let him move before, but it took me a long time just to beat him doing it that way. Right here, you want to grab the time stopper because sometimes those big bats will swoop in and touch you and knock you into a pit. Yeah, I've made it all, like, this whole way before and died right there, and I was very upset. Don't do that. Grab the time stopper and stop them before they can touch you. Yep, grab more hearts. Grab those hearts. Also, the time stopper is great for the rooms ahead, too. So stand over there. Hit the skeleton. Right there, you got... Be careful. Don't fall into that pit, and don't let the skeleton above knock you into that pit, or it's over. Right there, I got hit. I almost lost my time stopper, but I didn't. I was really close to that knife. I got lucky right here. I dropped down, used the time stopper. There's a leg, turkey leg right there. Then you just make a run for it. Use the time stop again. Go up the stairs, and you're to Dracula. Just like that. Right here, you want to collect some hearts. Luckily, there's a holy water in Dracula's room or whatever. His coffin, his lair, Dracula's lair. There's holy water in there, so you're in luck. You're gonna need it for this battle. I like to get 30 hearts just to be safe. Doesn't take too long. There you go, 30 hearts. You can whip those candles and they'll give you hearts too. And there's the holy water. And then just don't mess this battle up. And you did it. I sure make it sound easy. It's not as easy as it sounds, trust me. This first phase of Dracula isn't really tough. You just gotta get your timings right and just don't walk into Dracula like he phases in and out, so you got to make sure you're walking around, or he's just gonna phase into you and you're gonna take damage. Like I already took a little damage right there. Almost there. There you go. Knock his head right off. Then you use the holy water to freeze, like, demonic devil Dracula in place, and then you gotta hit him in his head. Right there, that was perfect. I used the holy water and hit all of his fireballs with it. Right here I get hit, but that's okay. Holy water for the win. Yeah! 7 hours well spent. That's that, boys. Yeah, my playthrough was only like 22 minutes. Dude, speedrunners are insane though. They can beat this game in like 14 minutes. They're freaking something else, I'm telling you. I'm like nothing compared to some of the guys out there, but still, I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty accomplished. When is Castlevania 2? Hey, I'll start practicing it. For real, I love Castlevania. I'll start practicing it. If that's something you want to see, for sure. I'll put it on the list. I don't know that game that well. I haven't played it much. I've been playing a lot of Castlevania 3 to try to beat that game. I've never beat Castlevania 3 yet. So